this question really touches me because I really first got the answer in our last SlowSexOrgy. Because this magic of what happens when bodies meet, and not when minds or identities meet, but really the magic of bodies meeting. I started to experience it in the last SlowSexOrgy by watching. I think I had this experience already, but it is different when I'm in the experience than when I actually see something unfolding, and there is a bigger aha moment around it. So there is this magic of, it's so funny, in my trauma healing training, I was learning trauma healing from a person who wrote a book, Der Körper kennt den Weg, the body knows the way.
Okay.
And he was like, this is so funny. He didn't like the title. The publisher gave him the title. It was actually meant to be named in a different way, because he was like, the body doesn't know the way. So I think that's a very nice image of the two, like what is sexual healing and what is sexual healing. That you can say, in one hand, the body doesn't know the way, because when we go into a solution of like, oh, here I have I'm hitting a rock in my experience and trying to find a solution in a place where there is no solution, but I'm trying very hard to get a solution there. Kind of, I'm trying to get a connection, or I'm trying to understand my partner, or I'm trying to understand how to be in ease with this group or whatever, and there are strategies that are kind of stored in the body, that try to find their way into connection, but they're hitting the rock, and actually to really allow connection, we have to sometimes go into places that are super uncomfortable and that we don't really want to go. That there are inner conflicts in us of like, maybe I have to meet this pain, but if I meet this pain, it's getting uncomfortable, so I'm not going there, and I'm trying to find another solution to have connection and to create connection, without really bringing that piece in, because I don't really want to go there. So I'm kind of in that separation, and I'm trying to bring that separation into connection. And that is like one way of saying, like, the body or our system actually doesn't know the way. Like, we are kind of fooling ourselves. We are kind of not really, we try to do the easy way, and then fool ourselves. And then there is this other magic that happens, where the body actually knows the way, where when we actually allowed connection in relaxation, where we allowed the body to actually be, and where we actually came to the point where our nervous system is like, okay, this is a good place to be, now I'm surrendering to whatever emerges. Then the body knows the way. Then there is, or I feel that there is an intelligence and like a silence and an intelligence and a magic that emerges, that kind of heals whatever it's hitting, that actually heals whatever is still a bit crunchy in ourselves, and that we don't have to do anything with that piece anymore. We don't have to like understand it and express it or whatever. It just slowly starts to come into the right spot. Slowly starts to just bring us some tears, bring us some aliveness, brings us some clicks in our system, and the healing happens. So yeah, the first one is kind of work to get more serious with like in a way being courageous, or it's just a different way of looking at the pieces that we are holding. Whereas the other sexual healing is really about like having arrived at the sweet spot where healing or deep nurture emerges, and then just not standing in the way anymore. So the body knows the way. There are so many ways in which we can connect bodily. Can give handshakes, can give hugs. We can give each other tantra massages, and we can also dance together. And all those interactions, we can cook together, which is an embodied connection piece. And all those different pieces, they allow the bodies, like on a somatic level, they allow information to flow or connection to be celebrated. So my cells are opening up, my pheromones are like exploding into the room. Your pheromones are exploding. I smell you. And integrate what I'm smelling, and you smell me. We are touching, and our cells are saying, I'm open for this, I'm not open for that, and all the different ways of interaction are actually starting to emerge. And then there is this beautiful piece of like letting genitals connect. And genitals are a very vulnerable base part. They are in their nature super sensitive. Some of us have a lot of numbness or blockages, or are overriding their genitals within kind of stories of my genitals are a place of sexual, how do you say, like orgasmic, how do you say that, orgasmic release, like any kind of tension release. But when we are actually healing, or when our genitals from the nature, they are just very sensitive tissues that when our genitals meet with other genitals, there is an interaction, a communication, and a connection happening that is very profound and very deep, and allows, when there is a relaxation, allows for a kind of energy to emerge that can be very profound and very deep, like a very deep sense of vibration that might ripple through whatever is there, through the room, through our bodies, through the place that we are, and that it's super, like, it's super homecoming, it's super healing, it's super nurturing. So those are the places that we are creating. It's like this piece of allowing our super sensitive and vulnerable vulnerable pieces to meet and to give them time to understand each other, give them time to start feeling comfortable, give them time to actually even merge in like a sense of I'm not talking about penetration right now, I'm more talking about that sense of like skin meeting other skin and dissolving the idea of there is a separation, but coming into that sense of I don't know where I end and where you start, but actually that there is so much information flowing that I'm starting to understand, or my body starts to understand who you are, or what this tissue is about, the electromagnetic blah blah blah, and where you start to sense or understand who I am on that very bodily tissue level, and where from that kind of connection, from that kind of merging, really bodily merging, yeah, magic.